And that's why I said not to put fucking peanut butter on them.
Mm,
I don't
bloody
know
hell.
why. I know, dude. Why do people not fucking listen?
I don't know. Some people have to find out themselves, I guess.
I guess.
Well, that's what they
Just
keep telling me when I keep saying that this bitch is gonna fucking get her head kicked in if she keeps with this bloke. Oh, some Sheilas need to learn for themselves. Not when they're fucking dead, they don't learn.
yeah. But yeah, if you're gonna entice the dog like that, like what is your problem?
Reminds me of this one I heard years ago about fucking Ricky Martin.
Hmm.
And over in Colombia or wherever the fuck they got this show that they nominate. You can nominate someone who has like a famous, that's a fan of someone famous, and this family nominated their daughter who loved Ricky Martin, and the idea is that they'll have like Ricky Martin hiding in a bedroom, and like she get home from work, and you know apparently she just goes to a bedroom to get changed, and the idea was that she'd get home, she'd go straight to the bedroom, take off her, well, we'll start to take off her kit, and oh my God,
Right.
there's Ricky Martin. Oh, and then I don't know what the fuck happened next because, well, it never got that far. So evidently they had cameras all over the place and all this kind of shit. And then when they said she went home and got changed, well, it was a bullshit story because what actually happened was she goes home, she goes into the kitchen, and then from the kitchen she retrieves a platte of pate and then uh, turns around and then uh, 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 moves a portion of her attire in a specific fashion, applies a portion of the pate to a part of her person, and then that's the point that she calls the dog over. And it's also the point where the
Oh
camera crew
no.
decided that we probably should let her know that we're here.
Oh, that's great. That's fucking great. Uh man. Open with a joke, I always say. Open with a joke. But
It's funny when it was true.
yeah, it's even funnier when it is true. Um but you remember I'm gonna start going down the rabbit hole now, Farty. I apologize if this is gonna be somewhat of a whiplash to you, but you remember 4 years ago to the day when they were burning down like Kenosha, and they were burning down Portland, and they were burning down Pick a City.
Yeah.
And it was all, there was the summer of love, they called it. You you remember that, right? And
Yeah.
oh, they can't stop and they shouldn't stop because you want them to. They're voicing their peaceful protesting rights by lighting dumpsters on fire and stealing sneakers and beating up women and small puppies and doing every heinous act under the fucking sun, right? And they're, oh no, it's just them being, exercising their First and Second Amendments and this, that, and the other thing, and bullshit. And now that the fucking sights are set on the left, people are wondering why there can't be any civility now after the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And I bring this up because they got the guy who shot him. I'm not even gonna say his name because fuck that guy. Um, but he he
I'm
would
sick
he,
of this fucking kind of like, oh, we're not going to name and shame you. Fucking name and shame, we can.
I don't want to name him. I don't feel like naming him. You name him,
Shame.
Party.
He's the arsehole that did it. Fuck it. Did it in front of his kid. Fucking, you should name the cunt.
Well, you name him then. I don't want to
Yeah,
name him.
I don't even know the cunt's name.
Party's like, I don't want to deal with this shit. Fine, I'll name him. I
Hang
don't
on.
remember his name. It's like Tyler something.
Calico Killer.
Tyler something Robinson. Let's see.
Tyler Robinson.
Yeah, his middle name was like let out. Yeah, and then the left is fucking coping right now, going, "Oh well, he's not one of ours. He's one of the rights, because he was wearing a Trump costume." Well, the Trump costume in question was a fucking inflatable that made it look like he was riding Trump's back. He etched Antifa slogans and fucking communist slogans into bullet casings that were found at the scene, that were found on his person, and people, and this is why 10 years ago I was telling the left, this is going to come back to bite you. This is why I told people on the left 8 years ago, this is going to come back to bite you. This is why I told people on the left 4 years ago, this is going to come back to bite you, because now the right is out for blood.
I can even say it goes back even further than that, because
It does. It does. It goes back further than that. I am using those as examples because the right is out for blood now. The right just wanted to be left alone. The right just wanted a free and fair system where things were kind of like were boiling over, and people wanted a sense of normalcy, right? People wanted to just have a normal day. But what happened in 2020? They fucking locked everything down because of an event that I can't say because YouTube will put another community guideline strike on us. But there was an event in 2020 that happened. Everything got locked down for, and I was curious. I asked Farty why people were putting up with this shit, because it was like it was absolute complacency that they were putting up with some of this shit. And they were following the rule of law, right? When that was the time to go, hey, no, motherfucker, this is enough. 4 years ago, when they locked everything down, that was the time for enough. And people who were moderate were like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It'll only last a couple months. We'll be fine. This isn't enough. And they kept pushing it, and they kept pushing it, and they kept pushing it. And they wanted to see how far they could take it. And they've been continuing to push it to this point. And it now people are wondering why the right just can't have any chill. Because it's been a long time coming. You packed the powder keg. You lit it on the left. And now you're reaping what you sow. And I want to be sympathetic to them, but they how do I phrase this in a way that doesn't make me sound like a complete jackass? You know, Freddie, I don't have the words for it. I want to be sympathetic to the left, but I can't for a number of reasons. And I won't be sympathetic to the left. I'm just going to say this has been a long time coming. And it's like did you see the Joker, Farty?
Mm.
You remember at the end where he just pops the guy in the face?
Yeah.
This is the equivalent of that, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I put it to you that I saw it actually coming quite more, like way more than 10 years ago, and I've even done
Oh yeah,
videos on it. I even mentioned it that I was concerned that there'd be civil war even like before fucking Joe Biden got in.
I was
Um,
I was right there with you.
yeah,
Like,
and I thought it'd be more sort of akin to lightning striking twice, like in the 60s and 70s. They had things like the Weather Underground and
mm,
um, the Symbionese Liberation Army and all this kind of stuff with the
yeah,
kidnapping of Patty Hearst and fucking
or
all that kind of shit.
that went on into the '80s too from the same movements.
hmm and things like Bader Meinhof um, and things of that nature in the 80s, the
Right.
Red Underground, whatever it was called. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I thought it was going to come back like that, where we were going to have like small groups and shit like this. I didn't think it'd turn into large movements and shit like that, which Antifa was becoming.
Oh yeah,
You know?
they became the black and red wave.
Mm. Yeah,
And
screaming fucking projections and stuff like that. Instead of saying that like we're not the fascists, screaming that we're not the fascists, but being fascists while they're doing it and
yeah,
being too
what
dumb
did
to understand it.
what did they do? They violently overthrew Portland, the whole city of Portland. They carved out a nice little hole for themselves in the middle of downtown, from what I remember,
Mm.
and that lasted for quite a while.
Yep, they besieged the fucking police station to the point that they had to be rescued, and then they just fucking abandoned it.
Yeah, that fucking disgraceful. Those cops.
Yeah, Portland police station.
Fucking disgraceful. Any police officer that's going to abandon their station or abuse their power is a disgrace to the rest of the force. That's all I'm going to say about that part. But yeah, I agree with you. This was coming. The retaliation and the response was a long time coming. I'm surprised it took this long to happen. I was just waiting for the powder keg to explode. Powder keg, for those of you who may or may not understand the uh, the idiom, right? I'm using that word correctly, I think. Um, is from when black powder for gunpowder used to be stored in kegs or casks, depending on how much they needed. And were at one point used to fill things like muskets or rifles that needed ball loading, and sometimes people would detonate the casks um or the keg, and they would use black powder to do it. That's where the idiom comes from. For those of you who don't know, I like learning about idioms. Farty,
You know where use your loaf come from?
what's that?
You know where use your loaf came from?
Red dwarf.
Actually, uh,
I
during the
just know it.
during
I
the
just know.
Prussian War, one of the rations was a baguette, and they learnt to pick out snipers. They could put their hat in the end of their baguette and use your loaf.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
About go off half cocked and flash in the pan.
Flash in the pan, I think was an explosive term, wasn't it? Like
Well,
it used to be something. It was related to explosives. I remember my social studies teacher in ninth grade explaining it to me, but I forgot it
well,
entirely since
the
then.
two the two are linked. Okay, so going off half cocked is
Hmm.
an um, old weapons term for like with uh, yeah,
Right.
weapons with a hammer on it, mainly muskets. Is where it comes from. Um,
where the musket,
And
where the striker wouldn't be fully reset, if I remember right.
this is a flintlock musket. Now,
Yeah.
the half cock um, usually is used for loading and all this kind of stuff, and sometimes the soldiers would forget to put it to full lock before they pull the trigger, and you don't go off half cocked because it doesn't
Mhm.
strike enough flint into the pan, and it doesn't burn enough, and you'll get a flash in the pan. So don't go
Gotcha.
off half cocked till you get a flash in the pan.
So
But
essentially, the half
don't come to
cock.
con- don't come to conclusions, or else you get a half-assed idea.
Gotcha. Yeah. So basically, what would happen is the half cock, the flint wouldn't be lined up with the steel properly, and would either get shattered or thrown into the powder,
Well, not enough sparks will be made to create
or
enough
not.
heat.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, my like I said, my social study teacher explained it to me once, and I'd forgotten all about it. But um, would you reckon, Farty? Would you say that this assassination is essentially the marching orders for the left or for the right?
Well, I got to say first off, like I saw it kind of as it happened,
Hmm.
um, and this is sort of
I'm still catching up.
well after a day or so of staying away from Twitter, and it's kind of like this is what happens when I'm not around, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I go onto Twitter, and the first thing I see is nothing but Charlie Kirk this, nothing but Charlie Kirk that, and five different fucking camera angles of it happening, and then like I saw one that was right up close, and this was
Mm.
still at the time when everyone's going, "Oh, he's critical in hospital, he's critical in hospital," and all this kind of shit, and then it's like I saw it, and then like hit his neck, and it's just like glug glug glug. It's like
Didn't it like
he's not lasting 4 fucking minutes, not even the way to bloody hospital, man. He's dead.
But yeah, didn't it like shoot through his throat?
Mm. It hit him
And
right
it,
in the carotid artery.
oh, okay, yes. At that point, like
Yeah, about
you're
4 minutes.
you're cooked. Yeah, because you're gonna bleed out.
Yeah.
Um, damn.
That's 4 minutes to do something, and then whatever you can do is basically just not near choking out to fucking close off the artery, and then what?
Yeah.
It's like that episode of fucking bloody Red Dwarf where fucking Holly gets a super intelligence, and she's trying to pass on
God,
messages with
yeah.
only a little bit of time left, but you don't have the option to switch her off.
Yeah. Yeah, that man, dude, that makes it even like harder for me to.
Yeah, like I only needed to see the first two glugs, and it like, yep, no, he's gone.
Yeah, that makes it even like I wasn't even a fan of Charlie Kirk. I'm not gonna sit here and grave stand. I didn't know much about the guy. I'd seen a couple of things. Like he was a really like for being on the right, he was a like for being as entrenched on the right as he was, right? Because he was like a diehard Republican. He was quite moderate. Um, and seeing a coward like pull this shit and not even get a clean shot either, because that's a dirty way to die. That's
Well,
suffering, I think. In my opinion, bleeding out in pain like that, that's 4 minutes of suffering.
not really, because well, he would have had quite a bit to think about that would confuse the crap out of him before. Like, and it's not really 4 minutes of suffering either. See, like he would have gone pretty much into the hypoxia and all that kind of stuff, where like he lose enough oxygen in his brain to really not know what the fuck's going on quite quickly, and the round would have caved in his larynx and all that kind of shit anyway, so he wouldn't be able to breathe. So instantly, he wouldn't be worrying about the neck wound. He'd be worrying about like, hang on, why can't I breathe all of a sudden? And then like, holy shit, what the fuck? It would be that quick.
Yeah, think of like, okay, so I'm trying to put this in a way like that that I can convey this. So imagine like you get into a car accident, right? And you know how like your perception of time, they did a study of this, your perception of time slows down. It's not the reality of things, but your perception of time slows down. So imagine you've received this fatal wound, and like even if it's only a minute, think of how long that minute could feel like, you know? Like that minute could have been like an eternity to him. And for us, yeah, it was like, yeah, here's the thing that happened. It took this long. It probably only took this long for this thing to happen, and then this long for this thing to happen. But like to him, it that had to have felt like forever, you know?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
It's like I can't imagine being beheaded. All right. That I would never that would be the worst way I think to go.
Especially if it's done by a fucking Wuzzo. Have you ever seen
Oh
them?
God, yeah.
They use a dull butter knife and fucking take fucking forever at it. And they start from the front.
They hack. Yeah, they hack. They do not do it in one clean swing. Um, but yeah, I would never want that to happen. Um, God, it fills me with existential dread, not thread. My fucking God, I can't speak today. I don't know, Farty. I'm a little animated on the topic. It's been pissing me off that the left was getting stirred into such a frenzy by its own group to basically smelling their own farts to go, hey, maybe perhaps this path we've chosen is not a great path. Maybe perhaps demonizing a political party for 10 years wasn't the way to do it. But the media doesn't care because when shit like this happens, they have something to talk about for weeks. And they'll keep talking about this for weeks. At least another week out of this one topic. Why? Because he's going to court now, or he's going to be going before a judge, and there's going to be a trial, and he'll get his fair hearing,
Give
and
due process.
he'll get his due process, and lawyers eat this shit up. Look at how long the fucking I don't know how much of it you got in Australia, but look at how long the fucking OJ trial went. The OJ
Yeah.
trial went on fucking forever. I think if I remember right, it took almost a year for them to acquit him. It
Yeah.
took like 6 months to a year to acquit him, and that shit was on the news every fucking day. Look at the Diddy stuff. We didn't just stop talking about Diddy until like I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and he allegedly hasn't allegedly killed anyone. All he's been allegedly responsible for is organizing really sick sex parties and alleged human trafficking. And I say alleged because uh alleged.
Well, apparently I heard he's sort of adding a hand in offing a few hookers, Ben Afflecking a few Sheilas and leaving him in
Allegedly.
dumpsters and shit.
Allegedly, yeah.
It's all right. They can't see me, Eddie. And what's he going to do if he gets past all the snakes and the spiders and the fucking the jellyfish and the bloody the kangaroos and the drop bears and the fucking all that shit and gets to my front doorstep? He can have a free swing.
Yeah. if he survives you opening the door on your front doorstep.
Well, if he survives that, he's fucking good because my front door's fucked.
He'll just walk through the hole in your wall. It's fine.
Yeah, well, fucking, it's funny.
Wait,
It
no.
gives everyone a lot of time to announce that they're here when they're clumping up the back stairs.
That's if they get past the Claymore, right? But yeah, we didn't. We just stopped talking about Diddy, and that went on for what, a good 4 or 5 months. The whole Diddy shit, and he wasn't even on trial for murder. He was on trial for sex trafficking. So yeah, this Tyler shithead, they'll be talking about him for weeks at the very least. They talked about the guy who tried to shoot Trump but ended up killing the first responder guy. Who was it? What was he? A firefighter?
Oh yeah, when they found out it wasn't, Trump didn't get killed and it was a firefighter, they shut the fuck up about it real quick.
Oh yeah, they went real quick. But before they found out he was a firefighter, they fucking ran their mouth for
Try and get
fucking
someone
for
killed
3
and try
months.
and get it's only a mega supporter. Who cares?
Yeah. And now you've got the fucking lefties coming out of the woodwork celebrating the fact that he died. You had that piss stain whose name makes me want to vomit. So I'll let you say it. But he
Not that Grinsky guy.
no, that's Sissy.
Oh, pissy fucking Harry Pisson.
Yep. His name fills my mouth with bile. And he comes spewing, oh, couldn't have happened to a more deserving guy. He had a whole ass video about it on fucking Twitter, and someone dug it up and fucking threw it back in his face after he was like, you guys, this isn't gonna help anything. It's gonna make everything worse. No, you made fucking things worse. This is just the natural progression. All right. This is the fucking pendulum swinging back. And I was afraid it was going to swing back violently. It hasn't swung back as violently as I thought it would, but it's essentially the opening salvo for fucking civil war in the United States.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting worked up and getting heartburn again.
I do understand that, like most of the infantry are Republicans, right?
Say again?
They do realize that most of the infantry are Republicans, right?
I don't think they care. But yeah, them shooting Charlie Kirk was the opening salvo at the very least. It was the right's it was the wake up call the right needed. It was the wake up call moderate people in the actual legitimate center needed. And it was the wake up call that people on the left who don't, and this is, I can't believe I need to say this, but people on the left who think that other people on the left are complete and batshit insane needed to go, hold up, and the media is going to run this for everything they fucking can, and it's going to cause a huge fucking pendulum swing. And I sincerely hope that the backlash is political in nature. I sincerely hope that there is a house cleaning at the highest levels of the Democrat Party, considering that half of the Democrat Party either owns or has ties to mainstream media sources like CNN, MSNBC, etc. um, this shit's gone too far. It's got to stop. It actually, I take that back. It won't stop. Will it, Farty?
No, well, what I mean is that, like, by saying that most infantry are fucking Republicans, so are most veterans,
Yeah.
and a lot of veterans come from poorer places where religion is more prevalent. So fucking the Bible Belt. So they've managed to piss off two lots of bloody demographics. The only one here that can shoot back. So if they want a civil war, that's what they're going up against.
Yeah.
Large predominancy of
And
the population that have been military trained, and the rest have all got guns.
yeah, and it wasn't even Charlie Kirk either. Like Charlie Kirk was the last straw, I think, because they had assassinated some lady called Irina. I never heard of her until the other day, but the left assassinated some lady named
Oh,
Irina.
the Ukrainian chick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the black fella on the train.
No, it was like some blonde lady.
Yeah. Black fella on the train stabbed the fuck out of a blonde fella on a train.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yep, I hear you. I get what you're saying now. Um,
And she had a BLM sticker on her fucking on her door in her room.
mm.
Irony.
Still though, like the fact that we've come this far where people are murdering people over ideological differences, over political differences. This is a timeline that when I was growing up, I never would have thought of being, you know. I never would have thought of this as a fucking. I can't. I can't, Farty. I can't. I'm literally like, I'm about to fucking put a hole in my monitor, dude.
Fucking yeah. There's a reckoning all over the planet where a lot of the governments are sort of I don't know, like here for example, where everyone's having a reckoning here too, where they're starting to see that the bullshit the news is portraying and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this was due to two events that happened. There was a pro-Palestinian march that met up with a pro-Israeli march that met up with a pro-migration march, and the pro-migration march got put in the same boat as neo-Nazis and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And you know the people in the pro the pro limiting migration march fucking were like, no, that wasn't us. Fucking, hey, what the fuck's going on here? And then there was a pro Palestinian march on Bondi Beach last weekend.
Okay.
And the significance of that is that they did it intentionally to antagonise things, because Bondi is predominantly an Israeli area or a
Yeah.
Jewish area. So like Sydney's sort of like got these little blocks, like say Cabramatta. Yeah, we call it Vietnamata for a reason because it's full of Vietnamese people.
Mhm.
There's Lakemba, or we call it Leb Kemba, as in Lebanese. Um, fucking yeah, Blacktown. I was made the joke fucking hundreds of times about like it's full of fucking people from Congo because fucking they came out here and shit. Where do we go? Oh fuck, Blacktown. They got segregation here too. Oh shit. Oh well, better move there then. No, it's just because the place was really cheap at the time when they were all moving in. So
Yeah.
same as fucking Shelby and Biggle and Blackett's full of fucking islanders and stuff like that because well fucking it was cheap enough to just come off the fucking the government commission market, so they were cheap as shit. That's also because they were built back in the 50s and full of fucking asbestos. Which was great because every time they caught fucking fire, it was us that had to go put it out. Yay, mesothelioma!
Wasn't asbestos supposed to be like the flame retardant?
Yeah,
Like the one to rule them all?
it was great as flame retardant. It was brilliant. The only problem is, it's all right if it's in one piece. When it turns to a fibrous sort of like you break it and shit, it's the dust you got to worry about.
Yeah. And it didn't take much to break it either.
No, it was quite fragile. But there's fucking it's so fucking hard lasting and all this kind of shit. There's like places still built of fucking asbestos that are in perfect nick today.
Yeah.
And they've been up for like fucking shit 70, 80 years now. Lasted longer than a lot of normal like buildings that have been built recently.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah.
Mm.
Here they tore it all out. They tore it all out. They tore all the buildings that were built with asbestos down, rebuilt them if they needed to. But
Yeah, they had to do it because of fucking idiot civilians.
yeah.
Okay, so what was happening was back in the day when people were working with it, they were bringing it home on their clothes and they were running it through the washing machines and shit like that, and it was getting all through the rest of the family's clothes. And they identified this years and years and years ago. And so when they stopped using it as a building material and all this kind of shit, it was agreed on that there'll be a certain period of time when you'll have homeowners who are none the wiser. And there's supposed to be an education fucking sort of program when you do home renovations. It's part of when you get your planning done and all that kind of shit is a asbestos fucking mitigation plan and all this kind of shit. So you're supposed to find out about it before you fucking start knocking shit down.
Yeah.
And then they've had the last of the James Hardy fucking claim, which was the company that was making it in Australia, where if you had done renovations before a certain period of time, that you could claim on that for mesothelioma if you've got it because you would have had it in your clothes and your family would have got it and that kind of shit too.
Yeah.
So that was before they fucking fucking that was the last one, and then never included firefighters that have to put up with it for another god knows how long in commissioned houses. Which is my argument about how pissed off I am about these taxes and the cigarettes. Is like I'm supposed to be paying ahead for something that might not be fucking from cigarettes anyways.
Oh yeah, because you were in the fire brigade, so like there's a chance, every chance, that whatever carcinogens were in the air as you fought those fires got into your lungs.
Well, yeah, they recognised shortly after I left Cheyne Park that fucking there's shit tons of carcinogens in car fire smoke. Maybe we should only fight car fires with breathing apparatus from now on.
Smoke. Like look at wood, right? When you burn wood, yeah, it turns into carbon, but there's also fumes. There's also carbon fumes that that like mingle with the smoke, and there's other shit, right? So like sometimes there'd be a treatment in the wood, and when exposed to heat, those treatments would turn into a carcinogenic cloud. I think one of the treatments I read about was it turned into something chloride. I don't remember what chloride it turned into when it was burned, but it turned into it turned into a chlorinated version of whatever surfactant was in it, and that's hella fucking carcinogenic. Like anything with chlorine in it is going to be carcinogenic at the very least. At the very least, you're lucky if it's just carcinogenic, because chlorine can kill you instantly in its gaseous form.
Well, fucking, they only in 2019 when he sort of recognised that bushfire smoke was carcinogenic, and it's sort of like, no shit.
Well, like the eucalyptus tree is like super fucking poisonous. Like the leaves are super fucking poisonous, and the only animal on the planet dumb enough to eat them are the fucking koalas.
Because it makes them high.
Yeah.
That's not no shit either that makes them high.
I know. That's why I'm not fighting you on it. I've seen the nature documentaries on it.
Fucking
there is.
They've even naturally born with chlamydia too.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy to me. It's like, yeah, but then I think about human beings. 98% of humans that are born with a form of herpes, right? Every human being has herpes in their bloodstream, basically. 98% isn't everything, but 2% is one hell of a what's the word I'm looking for, Farty? Variance?
High statistic.
Say again?
High statistic.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But 2% is marginal, right? If you don't have it, you will contract it at some point in your life. And we've learned to live with it. That's why we get things like cold sores or sores in your mouth. Like you could brush your teeth all you want, right? But some people get like sores on their tongue, on the inside of their cheeks, on the inside of their lips. That's one of the symptoms of the herpes that is in everyone's bloodstream, essentially.
Herpes simplex team.
Fucking Farty. It was too well timed.
Herpes simplex team.
Oh my god. All right. There has been one silver lining to all the grave standing on Twitter, though. And I'm not talking about Charlie being murdered. There's no silver lining to that. He was a husband, he was a father, he was a human being, and he was shot dead in front of his little girls who had to watch him bleed to death on stage. There is no world in which a silver lining exists around there. But if there's one thing we can take away and there's one thing we can feel satisfaction of, it's the left is now paying for their mistakes online at the very least. I don't know if you heard this or not, Farty. There was an activist comic book writer who had just DC Comics had just released Red Hood #1. It was a brand new Red Hood series featuring the relatively recent Batman character, Jason Todd, who was beaten and tortured by Joker, and he goes on a Punisher style killing spree, and Batman had wrote him off as being irredeemable because he had killed people on purpose. And so he was kind of an interesting character. He's the Robin that gets killed, quote unquote, in the I forget the fucking book it was called. God damn. It'll come to me when we're done with the stream. But he was a Robin that was beaten and tortured by Joker, and everyone believed him to be dead until he resurfaced later as the Red Hood. And yeah, the writer, I'll get to the point here. The writer of the new Red Hood series was A, shit canned immediately, and B, every issue following that first issue was just canceled. Then DC and DC has lost me as a customer completely because they allowed the activists in to begin with. DC lost me as a customer. I will not pay for DC content. If I want to watch it, I will sell the 7 Cs and I will not feel a damn bit of guilt for it. But I won't pay for DC content anymore. And they have lost me as a lifetime customer. I will never, 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 never go back to them. So when I say what I'm about to say, it should mean a lot. Okay, it should mean a lot coming from me. Not only did they get rid of this activist in the room and excommunicate them and say you can't have a job here anymore because of the vile shit she said on X about Charlie Kirk or Twitter or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They went ahead and they refunded comic book stores and digital distribution platforms and refunded anybody who purchased Red Hood #1, written or done by this fucking Diebring. And that leaves me with a sense of warmth. Okay, I typically say no one should lose their job over their political beliefs. And I was saying this because of the way the left wanted to cancel everyone on the right. And they've been doing this since at least 2016. Thank you, Anita Sarkeesian, you toxic fucking cunt. You and your friends, thank you for. Okay, I'm getting off topic here, but at least 2016. I know it's been longer than
let
that.
the customers decide.
Exactly.
Like, okay, don't cancel them. If they get cancelled by not fucking getting any cunt to fucking buy their shit, well then, yeah. I mean, this is the whole fucking lead up to what we're all seeing now with this whole fucking having to sign in on fucking just googling his shit nowadays. And surprise, surprise, the bitch that's doing it out here isn't even an Australian. She's a Yank. And surprise, surprise, she's a Democrat. Surprise, surprise, she's trying to fucking censor us. Surprise, surprise, she used to be on YouTube as a fucking kid's fucking cartoon creator thingy doodle, and surprise, surprise, she didn't get fucking anywhere either. So she's got this fucking hard on to try and fucking censor YouTube, and having to sign in every time as an adult and all this, like treat us all like fucking children because she's got a vendetta against YouTube.
Yeah, and what saddens me about that party specifically is she will be successful. To some degree, she will be successful, and that saddens me. And you have the left and the right essentially doing the same shit to YouTube.
Yeah.
And no one sees it. No one sees it. Everyone just blissfully unaware of the fact that they're doing the same shit. The left and the right are doing the same shit, and they have been doing the same shit to each other since fucking forever.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting to me. It's fucking. It's why I don't pick sides. And if I do, when I do pick a side, you done fucked up somehow.
Yeah, well, it's not just happening over here. It's like
it's
everywhere.
everywhere.
It's already happened over in places like the UK.
Yeah, Look at the UK. You can't even talk about things that are happening in the UK. I watched a heels versus babyface video earlier, and he's like, guys, your First Amendment is sacred. You need to like protect that shit at all cost. Um, Otherwise you get like what we have, and this is not a direct quote. This is I'm kind of like mincing his words here and putting two to two together. This is not exactly what he said. It's not word for word, and I urge you to hear what he has to say word for word, because Az is a pretty fucking moderate guy, I think. He's a pretty moderate guy, and he's even going, hey, this shit has got to stop. But his words were something to the extent of fight for your First Amendment, hold on to it as long and as hard as you can. Otherwise, you end up like the UK, where we have, I think he said, the 2023 Online Safety Act. And I agree with him. Like, I have no choice but to agree with him because it's the fact of it's the truth. It's the way things are in the UK. Sorry, Farty. I know I haven't let you out. Tonight I've just been real animated, and I'm the one just verbal diarrhea today.
Yeah. Well, fucking.
You can tell I'm upset about it if I'm the one fucking if I'm the one shitting out of my mouth about things, right?
Yeah. Well, hate speech as well is the thing that annoys me the fuck because, well, it seems like it's one of those one-ended bloody things that's directed against men, and even half men can fucking, suck and bitch and moan because they like it up the bum, fucking, you won't let me live my lifestyle. This is like what this little Ben kid tried to fucking make out and all this kind of shit. Oh, it's hate speech. Oh, fucking denote hate speech. It's like whatever their dumb fucking stupid little shits are fucking saying it is nowadays. And like, well, shit, whatever happened to sticks and stones will break me bones, but words will never hurt me. Like, wish we'd go back to the days where sticks and stones will break me bones and you can't go to the cops because they'll fucking join in too. Because that's what it used to be.
How much do you want to bet that that's the way it's going to be again within the next 10 years? Within the next 10 years. I want to say 5, but that's giving people too much credit.
Well, everyone's getting fed up with their bloody shit. And it's not just the fucking the normies either. It's the fucking the gays and the lesbians are getting fed up with it as well. They don't want anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah. You have a relatively handful. And like, I hate saying this. My father was trans. All right. It's not something I talk about a whole lot, but my father was trans. And before he died, he was transitioning. So I guess I don't know. It's still confusing to me. Okay. Fucking 35 years later, and I'm still like confused by the entire thing. It doesn't make sense to me because I can't fathom the processes that go on, mentally for that to happen. I can't fathom it, but it's not my place to go, okay, I don't get it, but I can still accept someone for it. As long as you're not being a fucking sociopath about it, right? Like, that's the big thing. Is like, I know a handful of trans people, especially from X, right? And there's one, she's a friend. I've known her since I started doing YouTube way back when Tower of Shandor was a thing. And she's a game dev. And she's just like constantly keeping herself busy. She doesn't like her trans shit isn't like the be all and end all of who she is. She's a game dev. She's a programmer. She's an artist. She's an actual fucking human being with hobbies and wants and dreams and shit, and not a pastiche, right? And there are a handful of trans people I know who are like that, who are actual fucking human beings. They don't want to be associated with the T alphabet plus bullshit that they've tacked on to the LGBT stuff or to the LGB stuff, right? And there's a surprising and growing number of LGB people who are like, no, it's LGB because the rest of that shit has nothing to do with sexuality. And they don't represent us, and they are deplorable. Even, they are deplorable, and full stop, end of story. And you've got these fuckers who are coming out in public, no less, doing some of the grossest shit in public in front of children that is better left. I'm not going to criticize you for doing that shit behind closed doors. Whatever your freak is, get it on, but do it out of fucking public viewing space.
Yeah, but what if that freak is fucking kitty fiddling? See, I tried having this fucking discussion.
That is an exception. If you're fucking,
This is what pisses me off about it, though, the most, though, is that, like, years ago I was having this off-air discussion with this fucking dickhead from South Australia called the One Aussie Gay.
Okay.
And,
yeah, I think I remember him.
Yeah, and fucking not only does he work for, he claims to work for fucking Sarah Hanson Young, dumb shit, but, he also thinks that feeding razor blades to kids is perfectly fine. But yeah, like I was trying to tell him that like the kiddie fiddlers were trying to scoot in under the radar underneath the LGBTQRS thing, and he swore blind he was taking it as me calling him a kiddie fiddler because his instant response is, "I'm not a fucking kiddie fiddler." I'm not saying you are, And this was this roundabout fucking discussion of like, I'm not, so I'm not saying you are, but fucking, and try, and the dumb fucks just won't listen.
What you should have said, I'm not saying you are, and this other thing. Because when you say but, that what there's I'm not trying to police your language, Farty. So don't take this as me trying to police your language. This is like the psychology like the psychology the armchair psychologist in me. All right. I've done, if anyone who has met me in real life knows that I study psychology as a hobby. Okay, I'm always looking at things and learning new shit about psychology, primarily because I find it fascinating, but also because, surprise, I have a mental illness. I probably have more than one. But after a while, you kind of learn some psychology shit just because you have a mental illness. And it's not something I want to talk about all the fucking time, but it's handy to know the psychology behind some of the shit that I'm going through personally, right? Because this way I can pinpoint, what is bothering me sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And being able to go, this is what my problem is right now. What can I do to fix this problem right now? Usually it's more medication, but what can I do with this problem or about this problem? Right? Am I going to put anyone else on blast? I'm not going to bring up anyone else. That's my personal story. But that's the armchair psychologist in me is like, when you say the word but, it's not you, it's the other party who hears the word but, and that in turn in the back of their head goes, hey, that but means they're talking about me.
But No,
But
well,
no, I understand what you're saying. Like,
no,
the,
no, well, you have a look at this Ben kid, right? You know, psychologically, he's been brought up to think fucking a certain way, and it even gets political with the teachers nowadays, where they're trying to teach them that fucking, you know, even their parents must be fucking the enemy. In some cases, they've been told that if their kids don't, if their parents don't let them transition, to tell the teachers straight away, because that's child abuse and all this kind of shit.
yeah,
So, you know,
they did
like
the
this,
same shit in fucking in pre-Soviet Russia, by the way.
yeah, and this kid's been brought up to believe that any form of disagreeing speech is hate speech and all this kind of shit. But you know, you don't get the luxury of finding out what the fuck the hate speech is that you've committed.
Yeah,
You know, that's the kind of bullshit that they're being brought up with nowadays.
Bing. Sorry, every time you call him Ben, I just hear bingeting,
Bing, bing,
and it's all entirely your fault, Farty.
bing,
um,
bing.
but yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, they're being taught, they're being taught this stuff in school early on, and it is really fucking them up. They're being taught this thing by their activist parents. They're being taught these things by their activist friends. They're being taught these things by their, activist teachers and their activist politicians.
Yeah, and it takes them
Politicians
forever to
are
fucking
fucking
realize
worse
that.
at it.
Yeah, the fucking, like, especially with the teachers, takes them forever to realize that fucking the teachers basically, they went to school to go to a higher school, to go to another higher school, to go back to fucking school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, fucking
And you know
idiots.
what? You know what the really you know what part really twists my nipples about this whole thing, Farty?
What?
The fact that Republicans in the 1970s and 80s were saying, hey, we recognize this thing, but the kitty diddlers are going to start trying to get under the radar with this, and they're going to try to start weaseling their way through with this. And the activists are going to use this as a podium. And no one wanted to listen. Granted, no one wanted to listen because they were doing it from from a very extreme angle. Like they went scorched earth. And the fact of the matter is, not a single human being who has a temperature or an IQ higher than room temperature, not a single human being wants to hear they're stupid. That's just human nature. No one wants to hear that they're stupid. No one wants to hear that they're blind. No one wants to hear that they're making a mistake. Right? Like, Farty, would it be a mistake for me to go and 3D print a gun and go to the range with it?
Yes, it would.
Oh, well then fuck you. I'm going to do it anyway.
Mhm.
That's how it works. I'm sorry to say, that's how it fucking works.
Yeah, and that's why we have to have warnings on shampoo bottles.
Yeah. Because you should know when you order a coffee, it's going to fucking be hot. And you should know that when you're driving with a cup of coffee, that there is a good chance said cup of coffee could spill. You should also know, if you're sitting down and someone hands you a cup of coffee, that there is a chance, at least a 50-50 fucking chance, that you are going to fumble the ball on grabbing that coffee.
That's not how it went, but anyway.
No, I'm just merely spreading a canopy of a few.
Misinformation. You need to be cancelled. Misinformation.
Okay, Let's cancel Frank. Let's go for it. Canceling starting now.
Is anyone going to notice?
No one will notice. No one will give a shit. And even if they do give a shit, guess what? We still have Rumble. It's less work for me, actually, if we get canceled on YouTube. I hate doing work. I hate setting up the streams. I hate doing research for the streams. I do it, right? I do it. And sometimes I'll do it midstream, which is still kind of a lot of legwork to do. And I do it so I can keep up with Farty's conversation. Farty will explain something. I'll listen as well as I can. And 90% of that information isn't getting through to my brain. All right. 90% of it doesn't. And I feel bad about it because I'm like really trying to listen to Farty. Right. Like, and I'm Farty, have you ever had that problem where I'll just be verbal diarrhea and you're having a hard time keeping up with me?
Yep.
Yeah. So it happens both ways. I was hoping it was a two-way street because I feel fucking bad every time. Even knowing it's a two-way street, I still fucking feel bad knowing that I'm like not quite keeping up, even though I'm trying my hardest. So I have to look shit up while we're in stream sometimes, so that I have something written in front of me to like compare notes to get the full fucking picture. Does that make sense?
I was wondering why sometimes it sounded like you were reading out of Wikipedia.
Well, you know, if they're going to provide it for free, may as well.
Yeah, they're still shilling for a buck, though. Oh, come on, we're poor, hard done boys. Our business model was shit. So can you please chuck us a buck?
No, you decided that it was going to be a free service from day one. And the day that you turn into a paid service is the day I no longer use you. That's the day I'll go back to the public library and get out the outdated Encyclopedia Britannica.
But will you though?
Say again?
But will you though?
Yes, I will actually. I'm not above going to the library. I used to love going to the library. I can't tell you how many hours I spent in my youth in the library. Reading comic books, hanging out. I'd have my Walkman. I'd go sit down, pick something up off the fucking shelf, and I would sit there and read from like on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. I'd go down and fucking sit there until like 5 o'clock Saturday night when they closed. They wouldn't be open Sunday, so I'd just spend all fucking day Saturday there, or I'd spend all fucking day at the mall.
Yeah.
This will give me an excuse to relive those days because it's coming.
Yeah,
it's getting.
Don't.
All right.
Because you'll find out that it really does suck. And there's reasons why you don't do it anymore.
It sucks. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but the world is headed that direction anyway. With shit like the EU passing bullshit laws about age verification, and the Republicans, like, and they've got me pissed off with this too. They're taking the opportunity for this full ass pendulum swing on this really fucking hard pendulum swing to pass the fucking Child Safety Online Act or whatever the fuck it's called, the Screen Act. That's what it's called. They want Screen Act. And if you're against this, then you must be a pedophile. Or, maybe there's something wrong with your legislation and the fact that you don't understand the fucking internet. I'm getting worked up again, Farty. I'm getting worked up again. I'm going to wake up the whole fucking neighborhood. It's only 6 p.m. Or it's only 6:30 p.m.
Was everyone asleep?
Because tomorrow's Sunday. Why not? They got to get up early to go to church.
Tomorrow's Monday.
For you,
they can't go to church because the Muslims have all burned them down.
I feel a lot better, but I'm still very aggravated. I'm still very angry because the right is like the politicians are going to take advantage of this, and the politicians of the right are going to pass some of the most bullshit laws there are. Like it's coming, and it's all because of the left being the left. They couldn't just stop for a moment. There's going to be some draconian shit coming down the pipeline in the next couple of years, and it's all going to come into effect in the next couple of years. And the internet as we know it is going to be completely unusable. People are going to stop. I firmly believe people are going to stop paying for internet within the next 10 years.
Yeah.
They'll be forced to fucking stop shopping on Amazon and go back to the fucking mall. But spoiler, there won't be a fucking mall to go back to.
Yeah. Well, I kind of have thought that the internet was the worst thing that humanity ever came up with, because, well, fucking, you know, they said, oh, it's going to be a utopia of fucking knowledge and all this kind of shit, and, well, fucking, it really didn't come about until fucking COVID, when all the normies started getting on board, and it was an instant change. You know, like you leave a fucking innocuous comment on an air show fucking video that crashed, you know, and it's like, oh, it was a female pilot. Ah, women drivers. Oh no, you need to be cancelled. What the fuck?
Normies are the cancer of anything. Flat out. End of story. It's like a normie entering a hobby, right? Let's say a normie has entered a hobby. Let's say it could be something as dumb as, I don't know, let's say Tamagotchi collecting. Did you know that was still a thing, Farty? There's people that go out of their way to collect Tamagotchis. And Tamagotchis are still apparently being made.
Bloody Jesus.
Yeah. I was astounded myself when I found out today. But a normie, let's say a normie enters a Tamagotchi collecting hobby, right? And they go to all the Tamagotchi events or whatever. A normie going to an event for any hobby is the equivalent of that one jock, right? Who like eats a lot of beans every day, a lot of fiber. So like, yeah, he's like stacked, he's jacked, right? He's in a really good shape, but he also farts a whole fucking ton because all he eats is like steak and beans, right? So it's like that guy going into a very small locker room and having the wettest fucking shit imaginable and stinking out the entire bathroom. That's what a normie entering a hobby is like. If you need a
It's like a vegan.
Oh,
you can't not hear about it.
Do not get me started on vegans. Oh, no, we're not going down. No.
Hey, did you hear about the vegan? Of course you did. They can't stop talking about it.
Party. I'll turn this stream around. I'll drop you off in fucking in fucking there. I'll drop you off there. I'll drop you off in fucking Adelaide. Don't make me do it, Farty.
No, not South Australia. Fucking saw a doco on your stupid vegan bitch that went to Everest and surprise, didn't make it.
Yeah, she went there to prove like vegans were like super fucking.
Well, it turns out she fucked up on 2 occasions. 1, she wasn't the first vegan, and 2, the first vegan did it the day before her. So she died for nothing. Stupid bitch.
Didn't the first vegan that went die too?
No, he made it.
Oh, he made it. Okay. Yeah. Fucking normies ruin everything. And I was gonna start on a whole fucking tangent, but I don't want to.
Well, normies are my explanation on reincarnation. I mean, like, So everyone's got, for want of a better term, a soul, and fucking, there's only so many souls that are out there, and anyone who has an inherent knowledge of anything is just someone who's been around the block a few times. It's not, talent. It's just, something you remember from the previous existence. And that's where you get like polymaths who are naturally fucking understanding of many different disciplines, and they don't understand where it came from because they've never been formally trained on it.
Yeah.
But then you've got NPCs who are literally a new soul. It's their first time around. They've had no chance to learn anything yet, so they act exactly like fucking NPCs.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many
I'll
fucking idiots around the joint, because population's exploded.
Yeah, I will choose at this point to accept your theory of reincarnation. I'm not 100% committed to it, but I will accept it, Farty.
Well, it's
I
even got
will,
to the point where the animals don't give a fuck anymore, and they're just said like catch them a million times on camera looking at us like, you fucking idiot humans. I got reincarnated as a cat, and you're a fucking human.
well, that would explain all the roadkill. They know what's down the pipeline and they're just looking to end it. It's the easy way to do it. There's a fucking semi coming down the road.
But you get reincarnated over and over and over again, so how many times are you a dung beetle before you get to be a human again?
Hmm. Well then you're still going, okay, I got someone hit the shuffle button again and I got squirrel for the fucking 15th time. There's a Buick. It explains why
Explain.
squirrels so fucking suicidal.
Oh, I was just going to say the same thing about kangaroos.
Oh shit. Yeah, kangaroos are just overgrown squirrels, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're just too big to climb trees. Although I'm pretty sure a Roo will climb a tree if it wanted to.
what do they call them? Murder rabbits.
Yeah, that is true.
Something like
It's funny.
that.
I've actually seen video of them going on all fours, so that's weird. Like seeing an animal design, like not design, but seeing an animal that has evolved to be upright, like walking around on all fours, and those giant fucking leaf springs they call legs, um, being used as hind legs, like that shit is weird, dude.
Well, watching them bounce is actually weird. Huh?
Well, yeah, because it's like it doesn't even look like they're bouncing. It just looks like the ground is throwing them into the air.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's crazy. If you've never watched footage of a fucking kangaroo, watch footage of a fucking kangaroo.
I've been
It,
there, seen it, for real.
well, yeah, no, I'm just speaking to the rest of humanity, right? Only 30,000 of you live in Australia. Come on, Farty. That's not a very large population for such a big continent. You got all that space. What do you have? Nothing.
Oh, lots of minerals and shit that China wants.
Apparently. Fuck. We didn't even get to the second topic I wanted to discuss, but I don't think that would be a very long topic anyway. Yeah, we'll save it for another time, I guess. We'll see. We'll check in next week and see if World War III is still on the menu. What do you think, Party?
Yeah, probably will be.
All right, guys, we're gonna take off. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you made it this far, hit the dislike button, and we'll see you again next time.